it's Jennifer McCollum with the Parent Teens Club. I am here today with the beautiful Sonja Montiel. And Sonja, hello Sonja. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me, Jennifer.
Good. Sonja's a creator and founder of College Confidence. And Sonja's here today to help guide us parents through a really difficult time that our teens have as they're navigating the college admissions process. But even more than that, Sonja is going to have some really great, fabulous insights and tools for us for just raising teens overall. So Sonja, I'm so excited to meet you and introduce you to our parents. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know that you've been in the college admissions world for over 20 years, which is amazing. And I want to hear more about that. So tell us about yourself and how you got into this world of helping teens and parents navigate college admissions.
Sure. I'm so excited to talk about what I'm passionate about. And it's crazy that I've been in this profession for 20 years. I just want to back up a little bit in terms of how I even got to college admissions. So, got my bachelor's in communication, my master's in education, and I said, I will never be in a classroom. I will never be in a school. I want to work directly with young adults or teenagers and young adults. So after that, I became an admission counselor for UC Santa Barbara, and the University of California system is one of the most rigid and complex admissions process probably in the world that I found. So having that experience was really interesting. And then I realized that teens need more guidance before they come into the university office and say, I want to apply there. So I switched my hat and I became the director of college counseling at a private preparatory school in California. So, I was the one writing all the recommendation letters and really having this counseling piece involved, helping every student kind of find their path. And that's where parents came into my world. So was really facilitating this interesting relationship between parents and their teens, observe different responses to, the conflicts that happen, the disengagement or too much of engagement. So did that for a number of years and then finally opened up my own practice as a private college counselor. Now, my turning point was just helping my own teen. And so I know a lot of mothers and parents in my offices will say, well, just wait, Sonja, until you help your own teen through the process. And gosh darn it, they were right. I have a normal teen, and she's a fantastic person. She's kind of average. I mean, she's normal. She's normal. She wasn't the high achiever go-getter. She wasn't the one dropping out. She was kind of just in the middle. And through my own process as a mother, I was very humbled by the relationship because I knew my experiences observing the relationships in my past. I thought I had all the tools that I've learned from all of these parents, and I used almost all of them on what was going to stick with my own daughter. There were some difficult conversations, but because of my humility, I was able to coach myself through the process. It was all about me. It wasn't about my daughter. It was about how can I be the best support to her so she can enjoy this rites of passage. And through it all, I look back now because she's done. So she's going to University of Utah. But I look back and I say, there's something very beautiful. I got to celebrate her. I got to celebrate our relationship through college admissions. And now I want to share that experience and those tools with other parents.
That's so wonderful to know. Like, oftentimes you hear people speak about a topic, and just knowing that they have been through it, that the information is valid. You can trust that person. They will understand what you're going through, because I know there's a lot of emotions that happen as you are navigating this time. So I think you're just the perfect person to be, and your background, amazing background, to be able to help the teens and the parents. So that is kind of something you wanted to talk to us about, which I'm so happy that you told us your background and how you got to this point. So tell us about this time and how you are helping guide the parents and,
Sure.
having teenagers. We all know we're all here because we all have teenagers and we are trying to figure it out. So tell us from your point of view, how you work with parents and how you help them navigate this time for their teen.
Definitely. I mean, I think one of the key things to think about as we reflect as parents is this the landscape of where we are as a parent, right? Like we've worked so hard to get to this point. You know, we've trained them to be independent and successful. And as parents, and I'll have to say, especially as mothers, we have become producers. We weren't born as producers, which means sequential checklists, dates, timelines, and calendars. But out of need and helping us have a successful run family, those have been incorporated. And what I find is we're dependent upon being producers. At the same time, teens aren't necessarily producers. And of course, we could talk about the dynamics of teen brains and how the variety of how teenagers can be in terms of personality and characteristics. But what happens in this very short period of time is the parents begin to get nervous because there is timeline. I mean, the college admissions process or whatever happens after high school, there is this deadline. The absolute deadline is graduation date, right? We're like, our main thing is, so are they gonna continue to live with us, or like what happens? Now, if we move on to the college admission process, it's even earlier than that. It's the fall of senior year. So as parents in our mindset, we're driven by that timeline. But teens aren't so much. They're just like, I just want to enjoy childhood. I want to enjoy my friends. I love this independence. What is this? And what happens is with our mindset of timelines and checklists, we have conflict with teens who want to continue to explore who they are as independent beings. So my first thing is just really as parents is understand that landscape, how unique and extraordinary it is, that we're in that balance act and transition of we've hung on to train them, but yet we have to let go. And it's almost like this fluid like hanging on, but letting go. So by the time graduation hits, we feel great about where our teens are. We feel confident that they're going to be successful, independent young adults. I think that's the goal, right?
Wow, when you put it that way, there is such a gap there in where the parents are and where the teens are. Like such a gap. And I love that you said the holding on by letting go. If I could show you my computer screen, I've got a sticky note here that says hold on but let go.
That's amazing.
No, tell us, how do you do that? When do you know hang on? When do you know let go? Like, gosh, that's priceless if you can help us with that.
And there is no book or checklist, unfortunately. I know the parents are like, tell us when do we do that? And I do, monthly parent groups, and they're always eager to say, what do we do now? And they've got the pad of paper and like, okay, what's next this month? And one of the things is that we really have to quiet down. A lot of parent coaches will say, we need to quiet down our own voices and have, in that being still, in that silence, when we really observe carefully at a slower pace than usual of what our teens are doing, how they're engaging in the world, what feedback they're giving us verbally and non-verbally, we really start to understand what is feeding them, what is inspiring them, what puts them down. And then we can slowly insert, and this is between parents and us, right? We can slowly insert an agenda. They don't know about the agenda, but we do, of what's appropriate at that time that they're engaging throughout high school. I just want to back up a little bit because one of the things I have witnessed in the close to 1,000 families that I've worked is these reactions that parents will have during this process. And it's, some are complete disengagement. And here's the word they use. You're adulting now, right? We hear, welcome to the adult world, honey. This is adulting. You figure it out. So that's where I could the complete disconnect, the disengagement. And so then the teen's like, oh, I guess I asked for this because I want to be independent. So I guess I have to figure this out. The other extreme is complete micromanagement. And there's a lot of too many articles on the helicopter, the stealth fighter, right? Those parents who say, you know what, babe, you don't have this. I don't necessarily trust you can make these decisions, so let me do it for you. I'll do it. And so we see parents then taking over the process. Teens say, fine, I don't have to do any work, that's great, but all of a sudden they're entering college or whatever, path that is, and they feel completely lost. They have no tools on how to navigate on their own. And I have to say, this is like when we teach our teens how to drive. We don't say, you're 16 now, babe, you got your permit? Awesome, here are the keys, go drive the car, and I need milk from the grocery store. We would never do that. There are these mini decisions that happen. We are by them, we're mentoring them. And when they're driving the car, we're teaching them the dangerous spots in the neighborhood, how to make that yield. And then slowly but surely, they're off going to the local grocery store to buy the milk. And all of a sudden, they're taking the beach trip with their friends. It's a slow, kind of gradual process of letting go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, again, there's different reactions, but those are the most that I've seen. So what I would like to do is I'm turning my hat a little bit. I work with a lot of teens. I work with parents on the side, helping, coaching them through college admissions. But I would like parents to start much earlier in the conversation, not the planning necessarily, but the conversation of observing, of reflecting, of questioning in a really positive way with their teens. Why is thinking about selecting your courses as a high schooler, why is that relevant to you? Why is it important that you do well or that you decide not to do so well? So what I've done is I've taken my own personal counseling experience, and I want to copy and paste that and create a parent training course. And that would happen throughout high school. So I can slowly support parents engaging with their parents slowly but surely, like the ET scene with the Reese's Pieces. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's stated, but how many Reese's?
I remember it.
Okay.
But I'm a bit older than you, so.
So we know ET's at the door, but we need ET to come out. And so then we say, how many Reese's Pieces do I need, and how spread out should they be, right? And I will celebrate as a parent when they just come out and eat the first Reese's Pieces. And we take it one step at a time.
That's wonderful. I love that analogy, for sure. For us older parents, we get that.
And again, like I take most of that through my own self. My daughter, there's decisions where she said, no, I'm not going to work harder for that course. I'm going to do this instead. And of course, my baggage and my bias putting, schools absolutely first, my inside voice was like, what are you doing? But I had to quiet that down and just help her reflect on that decision. She stayed with that decision, and I actually got to know her better. I mean, actually, that's a really great decision. You're taking AP courses to learn, not to get an A grade. How can I battle? That's something that I should celebrate.
Right. Well, what a great course that will be for the parents. So it's going to be called College Confident Parent Course. Yes. And I know you have a Facebook group. Do the parents or the teens get involved in your Facebook group now?
Just the parents.
Just the parents. Okay, that's good. So parents, if you can connect with Sonja and get onto her Facebook group, it really is a process. And I love how you've tied in your counseling with all your college admissions background and really combined it, because I'm sure there's a lot of challenges during that time as a family, like just parenting teens, there are challenges, but then add on that there is this tight timeline with helping them get into the college of their choice, and all the small things that you said have to be done, like driving a car, you have to do all these small steps. So I think that's going to be a great course. I can't wait to to see that course when it comes out, but I know you're going to have lots of value on your Facebook group. So
Absolutely. If you get on the Facebook group, I am very transparent, very detailed in the kinds of questions out there. So if those parents can't wait till summer when the course is going to be launched, I will be happy to provide that support via that Facebook group.
that's great. So for right now, can we talk? I know I maybe am jumping ahead a little bit, but I want to make sure parents and teens know how to connect with you. So right now you do one-on-one coaching with teens to get them.
That is correct.
Get them to the point where they are feeling comfortable with their college admissions. So the first step would be the parent contacts you, but most of your work is then done with the teen. And then I know you had said before we started recording that you do bring in the family. So you do some family coaching as well throughout that.
Definitely. I think that's maybe one of the unique qualities compared to other private college counselors is I absolutely have to have the families and parents at the table. So this is not, I just want to work with your teen and everything will be okay. This is a family experience. And teens need to know that as well, you know, that teens have to know that parents are part of this investment emotionally and financially. Although the result is that I help the teens navigate college admissions and what the right fit is and how to create a dynamic application, etc. I work with parents on the side in terms of what their emotions are, and then we will meet time to time as a family and figure out, is everybody on the right page? Are we getting the feedback needed from everybody at the table?
That's great. That's great. Okay, and we can find you on the parentteens.club website. You always also have collegeconfidence.net. That is your
Correct.
website, and parents can connect with you right there. What would you say that the number one thing should be that parents, that if they're struggling at this juncture in their parenting teen's life, what's the number one thing you think that they can do to really make this process go much smoother than
I think,
it is?
yeah. My initial reaction is first to be still, to freeze, and then to ask the teen. I always say you need to ask permission. If you don't have their permission, they're not going to listen to or accept any help that you can give them. So be still and ask, what is it that you need of me to support you? And I would start right there.
That's beautiful. That is so wonderful. I could talk to you forever about this. I know there's so much more that we did want to get to, but I think you've given us so much. Like even just knowing where, you know, understanding the parent and understanding the teen and how you are helping kind of bridge that gap in both of their lives, so that the parent is kind of working up to that time where it's maybe an anxious time for the teens as they're trying to figure out the next step in life, and helping parents really not completely freak out about what's happening.
I think too, it's, you know, again, like we focus on the big decision at the end of the Reese's Pieces trail. And we really need to ride along with the teen step by step, these mini decisions that happen. It's a great practice opportunity for teens as they become independent. So if we slow down and say, this is about mini decisions, and I'm going to help you along the way, rather than the big future where, you know, you have to decide your future. It's too much. I mean, even as an adult, if someone said, what's going on in 10 years, I would be overwhelmed by that. So I think that's maybe the biggest takeaway.
That is huge. And I've got the voice of one of my teens in my head that always say, you know, if they fall down and scratch their knee, it ends in death always in my head. You know?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't clean it up, you know? It's just, I do jump right ahead, and that is great advice. Slow it down and take it one step at a time. Thank you so much. And I know just meeting you and knowing you that everything you do is with, love and kindness, and that you just want to see these families succeed. And I love that. So thank you for sharing what you do with us. And I hope you come back. We can talk more about all the things that we said we wanted to talk about because we missed a few things, but you've got so much to share. So I would highly recommend all of you parents going and getting into Sonja's Facebook group. And we'll provide links after this conversation on how you can do that.
Thank you so much for having me, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sonja. We'll see you again.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.